What's going on? Happy what's today? Tuesday? Is today Tuesday? What's up? What's going on, y'all? Hey Nikki. What's up? What's going on? Welcome to the live, guys. I'm gonna be on really quickly just to close out the year with y'all before I go into a new year. I just wanted to come on and show y'all some love real quick. Not too much, but just enough. Um Cause your girl is tired. Hi, what's up? What's going on? Hey y'all. Welcome to the live. Hey, what's up? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Hey, hey everybody. What's up? What's going on, y'all? So look, so we about to get ready to close out 2024. It's gonna be a great end of the year. Um, thankful we have seen the last day of 2024. We're gonna enter 2025 with a bang. So, um, just real quick, I prayed and I asked God to guide me to get a word today. Wherever I may land, wherever I may, enter, I need that message to align with me. So today, um I went and I don't know if you guys are familiar with Pastor Jamal Bryant. I went to his church today at 12 o'clock. I was at the 12 o'clock service today. And when I tell you everything that I prayed for was a part of his sermon, not only was it what I prayed for, but it was what I needed. Okay. And he basically talked about how jealousy is the most highest killer in people, because sometimes people don't realize that jealousy and envy can cause you to die on the inside. And a lot of folks don't realize how powerful that is, because the more we sit around and be jealous, or the more people sit around and be jealous of you, you don't realize that they're dying on the inside, which is what's causing them to be left behind, right? Spiritually, physically, all of those type of things. And when you pay attention to people's jealousy over your assignment, you get distracted. So sometimes you have to realize that you got to start focusing on the things that you need to focus on in order for you to be a better you, and not focus on the jealousy of other people in their hearts. See, that message right there said everything that I needed it to say, because in 2024, I was struggling and battling with people's jealousy and why they didn't like me, rather than me actually doing the work so I can get to where I need to be. That is so profound, and that says everything that I've been saying for the past couple weeks, and I don't think y'all understand. Like, that says everything I needed to say. When you are so focused on people's jealousy, you get distracted, because you're becoming a version of you that shouldn't have been birthed in the first place. When you focus on people's jealousy, you don't even realize that you're birthing a version of you that should have never been birthed in the first place. That's the type of stuff that I be talking about all the time. And when I tell y'all that message hit me today like a ton of bricks, and I needed it, not only did I need it, but I had prayed and asked God to give me confirmation today. So when I got that confirmation, it told me everything I needed to know, and that let me know. And I prayed and I asked him, God, place me in the room that I'm going to belong in on the last day of 2024. Because where I'm going, I need to make sure that I'm in full alignment with you. That's it. That's all. I be trying to tell people all the time. You gotta stay still sometimes and just allow God to guide your GPS. Because I didn't know where I was gonna end up today. I didn't know what service I was gonna end up today, but I ended up in the 12 o'clock service with Pastor Jamal Bryant, and it was so good. When I tell y'all, it's something about a pastor that knows how to preach, because when you not just preaching from the Bible, but you're preaching from experience, and you're preaching about, your testimony, and you can talk about it, and you can actually teach the word at the same time. That's the type of stuff that I be trying to tell folks all the time. Anybody can pick up a Bible and read a scripture. Anybody can pick up the Bible and read a scripture out of the Bible, but it's all about how you teach it and it's all about how you deliver it. Your delivery is everything. I tell y'all this all the time. Don't get so intrigued by people who knows the word of God just because they can pick up the Bible and read the scripture. Okay? In 2025, I need for you to focus on the delivery of the scripture. Don't just worry about what they reading and how they read. Focus on how it's being delivered. That's going to tell you everything you need to know about a person. All right? The delivery of how they give it to you. If it don't give you chills or if it don't make you feel a certain type of way after they have delivered and said what they needed to say, then that word might not have been for you. It might have sounded good, but it might not have been for you. I'm in a space right now where I'm learning how to be aligned, fully aligned, because if I walk into a room and I feel like I don't belong there, I'm turning around and I'm leaving. There's no sense of me walking somewhere where I don't belong because my alignment is so meaningful to me this season. I don't have time to be in rooms or places or be around people that is not aligned with my purpose. That's the type of stuff that I be talking about. I'm only focusing on being fully aligned with my purpose and the people that belong in my life. That's it. That's it. And if it's not going to be that, then let me tell you something. I'm going to make it real easy for myself because now I'm paying attention to where I belong and where I need to be rather than where I want to be. It's a lot of places that I want to be. It's a lot of rooms that I want to walk into and enter. But sometimes you don't have the key to enter those rooms yet. Some of us got to realize you might have a ring full of keys, but some keys don't open up the doors that you belong in yet because you have not went through enough. Some of us be trying to hurry up and enter doors because we feel like we belong to be there. But let me tell you something. You don't have every key because every key was not equipped or assigned to you yet because you have not went through enough. That's one thing that I have learned in 2024. I wasn't given the keys until it was time. But the keys that I did have was just for the now. But it wasn't for the later, for when I went over and had those, went through those barriers and went through those roadblocks. I needed to go through some stuff in order for me to be where I need to be. In order for me to enter the rooms that I need to enter. In order for me to open the doors that I needed to open, I had to go through some stuff before I got there. In order for me to understand the atmosphere. See, some of us don't realize that you got to be willing enough to go through some things, whether it's trauma or a little heartbreak or, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you got to go through that stuff to have the understanding of the atmosphere where God is taking you. See, a lot of folks don't realize, but that's the truth. Where God is about to get ready to take you, you got to understand where you're going. You got to understand the atmosphere of the room so you can know what move you need to make. So now I'm in a space in my life where I understand the assignment of making sure that the atmosphere that I'm in, I need to understand where I am so I can stay and make my moves accordingly. That says a lot. So if 2024 ain't taught you nothing else, it should have taught you that right there. Making sure your moves is aligning with your favor and your purpose. In order for you to elevate this next season, this next chapter of your life, making sure that your moves are aligned and making sure that you're on the right track to get to where you're going. That's the assignment for 2025. That's the assignment, not only for 2025, but for your life overall. Some people don't realize that just says a lot. I just said something so simple, but I just said a whole bunch. You got to go through some things. You got to endure a couple heartbreaks and a couple, you know what I'm saying? You got to endure some of that stuff in order for you to understand where you're going. Because when you get there, you got to be willing to stay there. So yesterday I was sitting in the car and I'm just bawling my eyes out. I'm trying to figure out why I'm crying. I'm sitting in my car crying, but I'm also praying and asking God to remove, right? I was like, God, remove everything from my family that doesn't mean us well. Remove us from situations that don't mean us well. Remove us from everything and everybody who does not benefit us in our journey and the purpose that we have over our life. I'm sitting in my car crying, y'all. And as I'm sitting in my car crying, I'm releasing. So a lot of people don't realize that when you're crying, you're releasing something. You don't know what it is, but sometimes let me tell you this. Let me tell you how deep it get. When you release, right? Sometimes you can be releasing for other people in your life. Clock it. Let me teach y'all something. Sometimes your favor is so powerful that when you are in the business of releasing, when you're crying, you don't even know who's going to be impacted by the release that you're enduring, or the things or what you're going through in that moment. So I'm crying in my car and praying. I'm asking God to do all of these great things for my family, right? Got a phone call that following morning, or this morning, I should say, that my brother got terminated from his job. Now, my brother has been dealing with harassment and going through all of these issues on his job. And my specific prayer yesterday was, God, remove me and my family from things that does not mean us well, and allow us to be in alignment fully with the purpose that you have over our life. So as I'm releasing, I didn't know that that release was also for him. See, what y'all got to understand is when you have favor and when you're a true vessel, that everything that you endure is not only for you. Sometimes it can be for other people. Because sometimes what you feel as joy, they might feel as pain. So when you're going through certain things and you're going through and you're rejoicing, sometimes you have to look and see who's impacted, because sometimes it can be for them and not just you, right? So I'm sitting up here and I'm crying and I'm trying to figure out what is going on. God, why am I sitting in my car crying? I just pulled up at home. I should be celebrating that I'm almost to the end of 2024, but I'm in a phase in my life where I feel like I'm releasing, but what I'm releasing is something for somebody that's close to me. Now I'm learning. Now I'm learning the assignment. Now I'm learning my assignment. Now I'm learning why. Because sometimes we ask God, why us? We always ask him, God, why you use me? And why do you constantly put me in situations where I'm being used? And we don't understand. But sometimes, let me tell you something. Everybody does not have the capacity that you have to endure everything that they need to endure. Because sometimes that's what it takes to be chosen. Everybody don't have the capacity to handle what you have handled. Everybody don't have the capacity to deal with what you deal with. Everybody don't have that capacity, but let me tell you something. The reason that they don't is because everybody is not chosen. So I'm in a space where I'm learning that even though it get overwhelming sometimes, I'm learning the assignment of being chosen. Whether I like it or not, I may not understand why. It's not for me to know why, but it's for me to just do. Some of y'all got to understand, when you constantly are in the business of asking why, it's not for you to have the answer to that why, but it's just for you to do. When you start to do, that's when you get the answer to the why. But the more you ask the question, the more you stall yourself from getting to where you're going. It's not always meant for you to understand where you're going. Sometimes it's okay for you to just go there and find out later. So what I'm learning how to do is go there and find out later. Go there and find out later. Sometimes when you actually do the work and you align yourself with the purpose, you're actually understanding the assignment more in depth than you did before. I told somebody the other day, I said, what's so crazy is I don't wish to be nowhere where I don't need to be, right? Because I'm learning how to be in competition with the person that I was last year. That's the only competition that we got this next season and this next chapter of our life, is the person that we was the year before. That's the only competition that we have, because we got to one up that version of who we were last year, who we was last year, in order for us to elevate and get to where we're going. I'm learning how to do that. I'm learning how to just be in competition with myself. Because, see, some folks feel like you're in competition with them, but the whole time you over here in your own little world, minding your business, drinking your water, and staying out the way. And some people are jealous of the simple fact that you are staying in your lane. You got some folks that are jealous because you're staying in your lane. You got some folks that are envious of you because you're staying in your lane. Sometimes people don't understand that staying in your lane will wake up a lot of demons. When you are staying in your lane, you are waking up demons that you don't even know that that are being awoken. And you trying to figure out why. You trying to figure out, I don't got everything that I want. I don't got everything that I desire. Why don't they like me? It's because of the favor. It don't have nothing to do with you. It don't have nothing to do with what you got on. It don't have nothing to do with your pocketbook. It don't have nothing to do with the clothes that you wear. It has nothing to do with that, but it has everything to do with what God has instilled in you. So when you finally figure that out and you finally walk in that, you will finally figure out why people don't like you. And let me tell you this. When you finally figure out how to do that and how to master that part, you won't have any more questions as to why God or why God places people in your life that don't like you. You're just going to know the assignment on when it's time to move around those type of people and when it's time for you to elevate, because you can't get any place where you belong without a person of envy. And let me tell you why. Sometimes you have to know that you're doing something correctly by having people around you that are jealous of you. In order for you to know that you're on the right track, it's going to take one person to be jealous of you. It's going to take one person to be envious of you. You're going to be trying to figure out why, but let me tell you something. Stop asking the question why. Just learn how to mind your business, drink your water, and stay in your lane. 2025, learn how to do that, and I guarantee you, your life is going to flow so fluently and so smoothly. You're going to be trying to figure out where all the hatred is coming from because you just been over here in your own little world, minding your business. That's how it's supposed to be. When you're not worrying about other folks and you just focusing on bettering yourself and becoming a better version of who you was last year, that's the only thing that you need to do. That's the only thing that you need to do. I'm learning how to do that. Not only am I learning how to do that, but I'm learning how to be okay with the fact that I'm not there yet. Some of us want to be so perfect all the time, and we want to be in this space in our life where we feel like everything has to be so perfect. But let me tell you something. Everything is not supposed to be perfect because you are not required to be perfect. You are required to be just you, and that's okay. When you learn that, you will learn how to be okay with mastering your purpose instead of being perfect. Let me say that again. You will focus on being mastering your purpose instead of being perfect. That's what you need to be focusing on in 2025. Don't focus on the perfection. Focus on mastering your purpose in 2025. Because perfect is not going to get you nowhere but stalling the process of where you're trying to go. That's it. When I learned that, I learned a whole bunch because now I understand that I can't do anything if I'm so focused on being perfect all the time. Cause see, I was one of those women where I used to always focus on perfection. I used to always, everything just had to be a certain way. Everything just had to be, structured. And I had to learn that in order for me to learn lessons and go through things, I can't always live with precaution. Some of y'all got to realize, like, sometimes when you let life just flow and go the way that it should, your life is going to go according to the plan. But if you're always trying to be in control of what's going on in your life and how things are going in order, you're going to be out of order. And that's why you're always being rerouted. That's why you're always being rerouted. Have you ever noticed that sometimes when you sit around and try to perfect every little thing, something don't go right? Something don't go right when you're always trying to be in control of the narrative and the route. It's never going to go right because you're not supposed to be in control. You can't perfect everything. If every route was supposed to be perfect, everybody would be where they need to be. If every route that we live and every route that we take, if it was supposed to be perfect, everybody would be where they need to be. But they're not. Don't focus on the perfection. Focus on the purpose. And I know exactly who I'm talking to today on this live. Don't focus on the perfection. Focus on the purpose. Because when you focus on the purpose, that's when you master this thing that we call life. When you focus on the purpose, that's when you master this thing that we call life. Sometimes we get so sidetracked because we get so distracted, but you have to learn how to stop allowing yourself to be so distracted by things and people that don't matter. Don't make every relationship in your life perfect. Don't try to make it perfect. Sometimes when you let things flow and let it go, that's how you stick to the plan. But the reason why you're always going against the plan is because you're always trying to create your own blueprint. The blueprint was written already before you even were born. A lot of y'all don't like to believe it, but that's the truth. Before you came out of the womb, your blueprint was already written for you. But the fact that some of y'all are trying to write your own blueprint, that's why you're always getting left behind. Stop always trying to write your blueprint when it was already written. You can't control the journey that you go on. The only thing that you can control is the speed. That's it. And sometimes you can't even control that, unfortunately, because you are where you need to be. And when you realize that, a lot of stuff in your life gonna start to make sense. Not only is it going to make sense, but it's going to start to be more comfortable for you because now it's starting to be, so refreshing. I'm starting to be in a space where my life is so refreshing that listen, I go with the flow of wherever I need to be. However things work out, that's how it's going to work out because it's going according to plan. That's it. When you go according to plan and you let things flow in your life, that's when everything will start to be even more easy. But when you go against the plan, that's when everything get hard. I realized that too. Whenever I went against the grain, and I always went against where I should have been, it always ended up me being by myself having to fix something that I should have never been a part of anyway. So when I'm a part of broken narratives and I'm a part of brokenness, I never was supposed to be there anyway. Because it didn't have nothing to do with me and my purpose. I placed myself there because I thought that I had to fix stuff in order for me to get to my final destination. I thought I had to fix people in order for me to get to my final destination. It had nothing to do with me. So that's why we're always struggling as people, because we try to figure out how to do it on our own instead of allowing God to place you where you belong. When you are where you belong, let me tell you how easy it's going to be. It's going to be so easy that you're finally going to be able to live in that it's too good to be true phase. Some of y'all be talking about, oh, it's too good to be true, but you ain't really felt it's too good to be true because you haven't even allowed yourself to stay in the spaces and the places that you belong in order for you to truly experience it. When I learned that part, I learned a lot about life. A lot of times when we say it's too good to be true, it's because we're trying to talk ourselves out of things that we truly deserve. And sometimes when you're trying to talk yourself out of things that you truly deserve, outside of it being self-sabotage, let me get deep with y'all real quick. Outside of it being self-sabotage, you're allowing yourself to be broken down to the lowest terms just so you can help other people feel better about themselves while you're putting yourself on the back burner. I don't understand why we as people talk about being chosen so much, but we would much rather burn ourselves to accommodate other folks and their feelings. Make it make sense. I had to learn the hard way so many times that I was constantly placing myself on the back burner to accommodate other people and their feelings. Not only that, but I was in a space where I always allowed myself to be placed last, but Instead of me placing myself as a priority, I allowed other people to put me at the bottom shelf. See, a lot of folks trying to figure out how you bought your favor. But what they don't realize is, baby, listen, the favor that you got of your life was expensive. It's not something that you can go buy. It's priceless. So that means that can't nobody go pick it up off a shelf and go buy it. You earned that favor that you have over your life. Can't nobody go to Lowe's or go to the grocery store and pick it up off a shelf and buy it. You earned it because of the sleepless nights that you went through. When you cried yourself to sleep, trying to figure out and wrap your brain around what was going on in your life. That was something that was earned. That was not nothing that was bought. I be trying to tell people all the time, listen, favor is not nothing that you can buy. It's something that is earned. It was gifted to you out of the womb. And when you realize that, a lot of things in your life is going to start to make sense. Instead of you asking the question why, just walk in it. Instead of you placing yourself in positions of always being the self-sabotager of your own blessings, just accept it for what it is. Some of us don't never really accept our blessings because we feel like we don't deserve it, because we feel like we have not done enough. Baby, how much do you want to do? How much do you think is required to be blessed? Some of us really feel like we got to go through hell and high water in order for us to get the blessings that we deserve. How long and how far do you think you got to go in order for you to truly be blessed? Ask yourself that question. Why do you feel like you got to go through hell and back in order for God to bless you? Why do you feel like you always got to go through the fire in order for God to bless you? Ask yourself that question. Ask yourself that question before 2024 ends. Why do I feel like I got to go through hell and high water in order for God to truly bless me and give me what I deserve? Ask yourself that. Before 2024 ends, ask yourself the question. Why do I always feel like I have to go through things in order for me to get the blessing that I deserve? I've always been the one left behind. I always been the one who was slept on. I always been the underdog. I always been the one who was always placed last. I always been the one who was always in mess because people wanted to bring me. I was always the one to get the short end of the stick. But why do I feel like I always got to be placed in those positions in order for me to get everything that's mine? So now, this next chapter, we're going to get what's ours. We ain't going to talk about it. We ain't going to ask no questions. We not going to sit around and ponder why it came into our life or what's the catch to it. We not going to sit around and wonder. We just going to accept. Now, I'm just accepting. I'm not sitting around wondering. Because the more I sat around and wondered, the more accessible I became to people who didn't deserve me. See, some of y'all got to realize this. When you're not doing something for yourself, you're doing something for other people who don't deserve it. Let me say that again. When you're not doing something for yourself, you're sitting around doing stuff for people who don't deserve it. And when you realize that part, you'll realize that sitting around beating yourself up is not going to get you to where you need to be. It's not going to do nothing but allow you to be used time and time again. And when you get tired of that, you're going to realize that it's too late. One of my favorite sayings that I said on my live before, and I'm going to end the year saying this too. Do what's best for you. because the most expensive place on this earth is a graveyard. Don't die with no $1 million idea because you were scared to execute it because you were scared what everybody else was going to say. Do what's best for you and live your life to the fullest. Because the most expensive place on this earth is not a country, but it's the graveyard. Because you got so many people who die with their $1 billion ideas because they're scared of what other people are going to say or the lack of support that they feel like they're going to get. Baby, do it. Do what's best for you. Because sometimes what's best for you might be what's best for your purpose that's over your life. Everybody got a clock that expires. We don't know. I told somebody the other day, every day I wake up, I'm just getting closer and closer to the casket, unfortunately, because I don't know when God is gonna say it's over with. But before He say it's over with, I want to make sure that I don't miss my mark. My prayer for 2025 is not missing my mark. I'm not gonna miss my mark in 2025 for nobody. I'm not putting myself on the line. I'm not placing myself in positions to place people before me. I'm not allowing myself to do things that I don't want to do. If I don't want to do it, the answer is no. Okay. Sometimes you got to place yourself in the positions of knowing that that's what confidence is. Saying no and meaning it is also confidence. It ain't just you walking around with your head held high with your clothes on and you got your nice bag and your nice shoe. That ain't just confidence in that part. Confidence in saying no is everything that you really need because now you understand who's the priority. Now I understand who the priority when I say no. I ain't gonna be able to do it. Can't do it today. Don't call me today. I'm on Do Not Disturb. I'm not going to be able to help you today. I'm not going to be able to do it today. No. The answer is no. Come on now. Not going to be able to do it. Probably won't do it tomorrow either. Probably not going to do it tomorrow either. I need some of y'all to tighten up before 2024 ends. You got a couple more hours. And I need for you to lock in. And I need for you to wake up. I need your mind to be right. I need your mind to be prepared for whatever's about to happen in 2025. Because I want you to understand something. When you lock in with God, that's the only thing you need to lock in with in order for you to understand your purpose and get to where you're going. If you want to elevate, you got to lock in. If you don't lock in, you can't blame nobody but yourself. All right? So, with that being said, give yourself a round of applause for making it to the end of 2024. That's number one. Give yourself a round of applause for making it when you felt like some days you couldn't make it, but you made it. You done made it to the end of the year. Give yourself a round of applause and a pat on the back for making it. Sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit, but I need for you to give yourself a round of applause for making it to the end of the year. Even when you felt like you wasn't gonna make it. Number two, go into 2025 with a clear mind. Don't go into 2025 with all that baggage. Okay? Don't enter 2025 with all that baggage. And don't enter 2025 with all that real estate. Let me tell you what I mean by real estate. I ain't talking about the houses and investments. I'm talking about the mental state. See, because some of y'all don't ever realize that sometimes your mental is what's holding you back because you're hoarding everything here that don't belong. Let it go and let it flow. Forgive and move on. Okay? Don't enter 2025 with no baggage or no unnecessary real estate. Because y'all allowing things to live here rent-free and it can't live here without paying a bill. Okay? It can't live here without paying a bill. Some of y'all got stuff here that's hoarding and holding up space. I need for you to let it go and set yourself free before 2025 gets here. You got a couple hours. I need for you to get right. I need for you to lock in. If it's not paying a bill, so that means if it's not benefiting you and where you're trying to go, let it go. If it's not paying a bill, it don't belong here. Let it go. Set yourself free. Allow yourself to really know what it means to have a clear and sound mind. Some of us can't think straight because we always thinking about other things and other people and their actions and what they did. Sometimes you gotta allow yourself to have a clear mind in order for you to make it over the mountain to get to where you're going. Number 2, when I said clear out the baggage, that also means allowing yourself to go over the hill without a trunk full of mess. See, some of y'all scared to clean out y'all trunk because you got way too much stuff that you're trying to carry over that hill, and baby, it can't go with you. Some of y'all just barely making it, and that's why. Clean out your trunk, and maybe you can make it over the top of the hill to get to the other side where you belong. But the reason that you can't get over that hill is because your trunk is full. It's dragging at this point. I need for you to clean it out. Some of y'all just be riding just because, and you don't even realize that you're being weighed down by things that don't serve you, by people that don't serve you. Sometimes you got to learn how to let it go and let it flow, right? Okay. What point we on? Number 3. Number 3. Learn that envy and jealousy is a love language for people who are lazy. And let me tell you why. Envy and jealousy is a characteristic of lazy people because that's a lazy form of love. A lot of y'all don't understand what that means, but I'm going to break it down to you so good, you ain't even going to walk away confused from this here that I'm about to give you. Some folks would much rather be jealous and envious of you because they don't want to tap into their own full potential. So they will much rather distract you from being your full potential because now if they can't beat you, they want you to join them. I don't think y'all heard me. I don't think y'all heard me. Envy and jealousy is also a form of lazy love because some folk will much rather distract you because they can't tap into their own full potential. And some of y'all got to really learn to identify those characteristics in some people because those people are the ones that's closest to you. Their mentality is if they can't beat you, they want you to join them. And I want you to understand how deep that is. I want you to understand how dangerous that is. There was a quote that somebody told me the other day. This was the quote, and it was clear as day. They said Joseph Kennedy told President Kennedy that murdering and all the other crimes is not what's, taking people out. The most thing that's taking people out is jealousy. Jealousy would kill a man before a bullet will. And a lot of folks don't understand that, but that's the truth. And when you realize that you are around people who have jealous and envious spirits, those are the type of people that you need to escape from quickly. In 2025, you ain't got time to be sitting around folks who's jealous and envious of other people because that's not going to get you to where you need to be. When you attach to those type of people, they eventually start to rub off on you. And a lot of times, let me tell you why. A lot of times you don't even notice that you feel like you're not doing enough because you have a jealous and envious spirit that's attached to you that's causing you to feel and question where you are in your life right now. A lot of times you don't even realize that the attachment that you have to a jealous and envious spirited person is what's causing you to be left behind when it comes down to your purpose and the things that you're assigned to do. Yeah. the attachment to a jealous and envious person will cause you to be left behind because you're not even paying attention to the attachment. Because sometimes the attachment can come in form of gossip and entertainment. Sometimes the attachment can come in forms of gossip and entertainment. So sometimes just a quick conversation can knock you off track. Sometimes a little gossip can knock you off track. Because sometimes what you got to understand, every day that you are left behind, you got to play catch up eventually. Some of y'all about to start playing catch up in 2025 because now you're going to start to identify people's behavior and it's going to start to make sense as to why they can't go with you. When I started to identify certain people's behavior, I started to realize that they really wasn't for me because they didn't do nothing but set me behind time and time again. And when you get tired of that, that's when you're going to wake up and smell the coffee. That's when you're going to wake up and understand what purpose is. When you get tired of the small things that you used to entertain, the old you used to entertain, you'll realize that a lot of stuff you used to entertain was the only reason why you ain't where you want to be or where you deserve to be. So now you got to play catch up. Now you got to play catch up. What if it's your mom? They don't got nothing to do with it. Some of y'all got to realize that some of these people are human just like you. And when you constantly allow yourself to be around people that trigger you, and you constantly got to be the one who fixes the triggers each and every time, you're not doing nothing but setting yourself behind. Some of y'all got to stop allowing people's title to put you in binded situations. Because some of y'all be killing me thinking that just because it's your mama, your daddy, your sister, and your brother, they can still treat you like trash. That's not how 2025 is going to go. They either get with the program or they got to go. They either get with the program or they got to go. Some of y'all be making people feel obligated to be a part of your story. And sometimes you just got to write them out the script. Let me say that again. Some of y'all be letting people feel obligated to your story. And sometimes you just got to write them out the script. See, some of y'all be so scared. I don't know what you be scared of. Because let me tell you something. You know how many people that wrote you out of their script? You know how many people that left you behind? Because they didn't feel obligated of taking you to the next chapter of their book. Sometimes you got to realize that sometimes it's okay for you to write people out of the story. But you can keep them as a memory. When you keep them as a memory, that's just you understanding where they were and who they were in your life at that time. But they're not there anymore. Sometimes you got to allow yourself to understand how deep that is. I don't care if you're a family member or a relative, whatever. You got to learn how to write people out of your story because everybody can't go to the next chapter with you. I'm learning how to write people out my story because now I understand that everybody can't go with me. Now I understand what it means to be okay with the simple fact that this story is mine and mine alone. This story ain't about other people. This story, I am the main character. When you actually live your life as the main character in your book and your story, you're not worrying about what nobody else say. You're not worrying about nobody else's opinion and what they talking about. You are the main character of this story and this book. And the only narrative that you need to be worrying about is perfecting you and being the best version that you can ever be for yourself. That's it. And when you learn that, you will learn that a lot of things about life has been nothing but confusion because you thought you was doing it right, but the whole time you was doing it wrong. Come on now. I thought I was doing everything right until I ran across people who told me I was doing it wrong. But see, what you don't understand is you got folks in your life that see you doing it wrong, but the whole time that you're doing it wrong, they're just allowing you to continue to do it wrong because you're on the same level as them. You're more accessible to them when you're doing it wrong rather than when you're doing it right. See, when you start bringing folks in your life to tell you when you're wrong, you want to get mad and cuss them out and go the other way. But them the type of people that you need in your life. You need folks in your life that's going to tell you when you're wrong, not always enable you when you're doing it wrong and they don't tell you that you're doing it wrong. Them the people that will backdoor you when they always give you a yes, or when they always try to condone your behavior when they know it ain't right. I started elevating when I allowed myself to listen to people telling me when I was wrong. I ain't want to hear it. You right, I ain't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear it. But I needed to hear it in order for me to be a better me. And see, some of y'all don't understand that you got folks in your life that will tell you when you're wrong, but you don't want to hear it because you feel like everything that you're doing in your life right now is right. And that's why you're behind. That's why you're not where you want to be. Because you got so many people around you enabling the behavior. And that's why you don't realize that just because you're doing it a certain way don't mean that it's the right way. Just because you're doing it a certain way don't mean that that way is attached to your purpose. Come on now. Some of y'all don't realize that, but that's the truth. This whole entire time you've been doing certain things wrong and you're wondering why you ain't walking in your purpose yet. You need to evaluate the people around you that's enabling your behavior. Some folks will enable your behavior as long as it's a benefit to them. Hello, somebody. People will enable your behavior as long as it's making you beneficial to them. So as long as they get a yes, they know that you're going to give them a yes. As long as they give you a yes, they know they gonna always have a ride to work. As long as you give them a yes, they know they gonna always have a meal to eat. As long as you give them a yes, they're gonna always have some type of accessibility to you, because that's what they know, that's all it takes is a yes. That's it. That's it. Some people don't want to be on your bad side by telling you no or you're not doing something right because of the benefit that you give to them. I had to tell somebody this the other day and I had to bust their bubble. I said the only reason that certain people like you is because how much you do for them. The only reason certain people don't like to be on your bad side is because you always giving them deposits in their bank account. That's why they're always around you. They don't genuinely like you for you, because if they did, it wouldn't require much. You feel what I'm saying? If you feel like you're doing too much and you feel like you got people in your life who always require something from you, those are the people that you need to evaluate, because 9 times out of 10, you are giving them way more than what they're giving you. When you realize that part, a lot of stuff about your life will start to change. The requirements that it takes for certain people to be in your life ain't worth it, because they're not making the deposits. You are. And when you realize you're the only one that's making deposits, you're going to really eventually be overdrawn. And now since your bank account is overdrawn, and I ain't talking about the bank, I'm talking about your spirit bank. Now that it's overdrawn, now you're going to be trying to figure out why you the only one over here with the overdrawn bank account and everybody else sitting on commas. You the only one over here that's overdrawn and everybody else sitting on commas. You want to know why? The requirement. It's a requirement. That's why. Everybody else got commas in a bank account, but they ain't offer you not one dime. Because the requirement is for you to give, not them. Come on now. The requirement is for you to give, not them. And when you understand that part, you will understand a lot of things about life. It's about equal give and take. And when you're always in a position of getting taken away from, you're somehow going to be overdrawn at the end. A lot of people don't pray for the gift of discernment, but I think in 2025, there needs to be the number one thing on your list that you need to pray for. A mastering sense of discernment. That need to be the first thing that people pray for. If you pray for discernment, let me tell you something. Not only are you going to discern the people that's already in your life, but the people that are coming in your life in 2025, you'll be able to discern them before they even get comfortable. When I prayed and I asked God to give me a mastering sense of discernment, I started to assess people before they even got to me. I knew people before they even got to me. So I was available to pass the test when the test got in front of me. Some of y'all don't realize what it means to have a mastering sense of discernment because you're scared of it. You're scared of the decisions or the hard decisions that you're going to have to make when it comes down to you discerning people and their behavior. When I started to discern people in their behavior, I in the first time I got a little discouraged because I felt like everybody was leaving from my life. But what I didn't understand was everybody that was leaving was being replaced. Not only are they being replaced, but God is preparing my discernment so I can start to read the people that are coming into my life so I know that they belong there. Some of y'all don't realize how profound that is. Some of y'all don't realize how deep that is. When you pray for a mastering sense of discernment, ain't nobody gonna get over on you. Ain't nobody gonna be able to use you. You're not gonna have that that unlimited accessibility anymore because now you understand what discernment is, and can't nobody use you anymore. This is what it means when I say when you are in full alignment with your purpose, you gotta be fully tapped into your discernment too. Because your purpose is what's going to allow doors to be open for you. And every door that's open for you, everybody that's in your circle can go in the door with you. You understand what I'm saying? Some of y'all don't realize that, but that's the truth. Just because you got a crowd of people around you don't mean that that crowd of people belong in the door that you about to get ready to walk in. See, some of y'all got to be willing to discern these people because the people that are in your life has to be broken down and really assessed because now it's important for you to make sure that your circle is genuine because whatever God is about to give you in 2025, whatever he's about to pour into your life in 2025, you can't let your circle of people taint what God is about to give you. Because sometimes what we don't understand is God might give us a little taste, but he don't give us a full course meal because of the people that's sitting at the table with us. Come on now. He's not going to give it to you. You're wondering why he gave you a little taste of it. You're wondering why he gave you the vision that you was going to have it. You're wondering why he placed you in the position of having a dream about it. It's because the people that's in your life has not been fully assessed. Come on now. When you realize that, you'll realize that sometimes it's okay for you to have an empty table and you feast by yourself. Sometimes it's okay for you to sit at a table and be catered to by yourself. Sometimes it's okay for you to sit by yourself and enjoy a meal. Because now it's important for you to understand. Just because you got 6 chairs, don't mean that all 6 chairs got to be full in order for you to be blessed. Just because you got 6 chairs at the table, don't mean that all 6 chairs got to be full in order for you to be blessed and get full. When you realize that, baby, you gonna turn into a whole different person because now you understand what it means to assess people and make them audition for roles in your life instead of just placing them there. Let me tell you what that means. We're gonna go back to a highlight of my live that I did a couple months ago. I said, you think that Tyler Perry, just because he got all of these great friends that are actors, and when he have a new movie, you think he's just placing people in roles just because he know that they can act? No, he making you audition for it. Just like some of y'all in your life, you need to make people audition for roles. Just because you have a vacancy don't mean that you can just place people there based off their outside appearance. Sometimes you got to make people audition for those roles before they're placed there. When you understand that part, you will understand a lot of things about life. Making people audition for roles, no matter how good they look or how they look like they can live up to the role, you got to audition. Just like when you apply for that job, what you got to do? You got to interview, right? And it's up to you, your interview, on if you get the job or not. Some of y'all don't realize that, but that's the truth. You don't make people interview enough in your life. That's why you're always being in a position where people backstab you and do you wrong, because you don't do enough interviews. You just go based off the resume, and baby, listen, sometimes the resume can be AI. Sometimes the resume ain't even their resume. You ain't even paying attention because you're so busy trying to fill the voids in your life. You're not allowing yourself to be in a place of interviewing. This is what I'm talking about. 2025, we doing interviews. We not giving people jobs on the spot no more. I don't care how long I've been single. You're gonna have to work for this over here. I don't care if I gotta take you through 3 or 4 interviews. You gotta interview for this position over here. You ain't just gonna present me your resume and think that I'm just gonna place you in a position, because everybody can't live up to the job no matter how good they resume look. Okay? I'm learning that. I done learned that. I don't care how good it look, baby. You gonna get an interview. And whether you like it or not, that's how I know I understand my assignment now. I don't care how good you look. You got to come with it. You don't care what their outside appearance look like. They got to come with it. They got to sell themselves in the interview. Sometimes you got to understand, like, quality jobs ain't just letting folks walk in with just a resume. You can look like you can play the part, but we need to know if your qualifications actually live up to the hype. Okay? We need to make sure that your qualifications live up to the hype. You can't just be placed on the job here. You might look like you qualify, but I need to know if you qualify or not. So I got to put it to the test. That's it. I got to put it to the test. I'm sorry. But I don't know about y'all. But 2025, I'm not playing. I got to put it to the test, because now I got to make sure people live up to the job. Because see, I used to be that woman that used to be so broken that I would try to force relationships, right? Not only would I try to force relationships, it was because I was looking for a certain thing. And so me looking for a certain thing, I was looking for it in all the wrong places and all the wrong people. Come on now. So now I'm sitting up here thinking that I'm filling these voids when really and truly I'm just as empty as I was before. Some of y'all got to realize, just because you have the open slots available and you fill them, that don't mean that you're full or your spirit will be full. Sometimes you can be at a table that's full, but you still are empty because you're not even getting fed spiritually. That's the part that I'm telling y'all about. So it don't matter about the quantity of people that you have around you. It don't matter about the quantity of people that you have around you. It's about the quality of people that you have around you, because you can't walk around with an empty spirit. Your spirit is way too expensive to be empty. You understand what I'm saying? That's like you carrying around a Chanel bag that costs $3,000, $4,000. What you carrying around for if you can't put nothing in it? What you carrying it around for if you can't put nothing in it? Oh, you too expensive to be empty. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back, because I don't think you heard me. You too expensive to be empty. Yeah. Way too expensive. Anybody that sit at your table need to be interviewed, because everybody can't feast with you in 2025. Everybody can't sit at the table with you in 2025. Everybody can't eat steak and lobster with you in 2025. Some folks gonna have to get in the McDonald's line and go get a Big Mac or something. But baby, listen, this table right here, we only feasting on things that are top tier. So if you can't live up to your job description, or you can't live up to the things that I require, then you can't sit with me. That's period, point blank. And let me tell y'all something else before we end this live today. Some of y'all need to get out of the mindset of thinking that just because people have titles in your life, that they are automatically assigned the job. Just because they have a title in your life don't mean that we are automatically assigning them a job. Baby, once you become an adult, you do the hiring and the firing. Once you become an adult, you're no longer a child. You do the hiring and the firing. It ain't no obligation for nobody to be here. If you can't live up to the role, then baby, I'm going to replace you faster than you can blink. Quickly. If you can't live up to the role, I'm going to replace you faster than you can blink. Because this season of my life is so intentional. I don't have time for people to be around me who can't live up to the job title that they have been assigned. Mama, daddy, sister, brother. When you're chosen, you create your own village. When you're chosen, you create your own village, and anybody who cannot live up to the job, they get fired. Because one thing you got to understand is a title means nothing, because even people with titles can be replaced. Let me say that again. A title means nothing, because even people with titles can be replaced. The God that I serve, he's in the replacement business. And don't think that it's an obligation for you to be here just because he assigned you a role. I do the hiring and the firing over here. Family members, if they gotta go, you gotta go. It don't matter. We do the hiring and the firing over here. We don't tell people, or we don't allow people to tell us what they gonna do. This season is so intentional. You ain't got time for folks to tell you what they gonna do in your life. You create the narrative and you write your own story. 2025 gotta be so intentional. You gotta pay attention to the things that's happening around you. Sometimes it's okay for you to do the hiring and the firing and you feel good about your decision. See, I work in a business where we work with a union, and I'm not for sure if y'all understand what a union is, right? And some people get so scared of doing certain things in management because they're scared of grievances, right? Grievances is where it's a hearing and you got to sit and you have to, provide the evidence of certain things on why you have did certain actions, right? And I used to be so scared of them, but now I'm not. Let me tell you why. I don't care what is presented, because any move that I make in my life, I made that move based off of the evidence that was placed in front of me. I don't make rash decisions. When it's time for me to walk away from certain things and certain people, let me tell you something. I'm walking away because of something that was done to me and it has been presented. And I have the evidence and I have all the receipts that I need in order for me to make my decision. Let me tell you something. One thing that I have learned is that just because you have a receipt don't mean you always got to fight to make a return. Don't let that go over you. Let me say that again. Just because you have a receipt don't mean you always got to fight to make a return. So what that means is when you finally make that decision for yourself to not feed into certain things or not feed into certain people, you ain't always got to fight to make a return, because it ain't nothing to fight for. If you made a decision that you didn't want it no more, that's your decision. If you made a decision that you didn't want them to be there no more, that's your decision. You don't have to explain anything in 2025 when it comes down to you making better decisions for yourself. And I need a lot of y'all to start to get ready for that, because some of y'all are in the business of explaining. But I'm going to say this: we're not explaining anything in 2025. It is what it is. Whatever decisions we make for our life, that's what it's going to be. I'm not explaining why I cut you off. You just got cut off. I'm not explaining why I walked away from you in silence and then put up a fight. I just walked away. That's what I wanted to do. I'm no longer explaining anything. But what I am going to do is choose me first in every decision that I make in 2025. I'm becoming a priority to me. Some folks let me tell y'all something. Some folks be trying to be so slick because they don't know, or they don't think you know, that they be talking about you. I be trying to tell folks all the time, you got to be careful with certain people, because their anointing might be way more powerful than what you believe it to be. You got to be way more powerful. You got to be way more understanding that sometimes when you put your mouth on people, don't think that they don't know about what you done said or what you done did. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of folks that speak to me right now, but they don't even know that I know they didn't had a whole conversation about me. But in my head, they already cut off. See, I don't fool with you. So when a lot of people be like, oh, why you acting funny? I'm not acting funny. I'm just choosing me. I ain't acting funny. I'm just choosing me. When folks be like, oh, you acting real funny, you don't speak no more, I don't have to. I'm grown. That's what I want to do. This season, I'm only choosing peace. So with peace comes me not explaining myself on what I decide to do in my life. That's what peace is. No explanation. We not explaining nothing. Whatever we do is because we want to do it. We grown. We pay our own bills. Ain't nobody helping us. We feed ourselves. Ain't nobody helping us. We make our own decisions. So what that mean is this season is 2025. We making our own decisions for what we want to do for ourselves. Because our decisions bring peace. The only thing that brings chaos, let me break this down for y'all. Each and every one of y'all that's in this room, I want you to hear me loud and clear. The only reason your life is chaotic is because of other people. You ain't never brought chaos to your own front doorstep. It has been because of other people brought it to your front doorstep. And when you understand that doorstep, it has been because of other people brought it to your front doorstep. And when you understand that minimal requirement for you is peace, a lot of people won't even be able to live up to that. You know what I sat around and I told myself? I said, you know what's so crazy? Is I ain't never brought chaos to my own front doorstep. It's always been by other people. So that's why I'm real careful about who I bring to my house. And I ain't just talking about the house that I live in. I'm talking about my spirit. Don't let that go over y'all head. You got to be real careful with who you bring to your house. Be real careful with who you allow at your front doorstep. Be real careful, because this season right here, you're going to be so fragile, you can easily break. This season right here, you gotta understand that this is going to be the make or break season right here. You can't have everybody at your front doorstep. That's why I told somebody the other day, I said, listen, just because you're craving some type of companionship and you're craving certain things don't mean that everybody belong at your house. Everybody can't come to your house just because you're craving something. Sometimes the best thing that you can ever do for yourself is provide it to yourself. So anything that you're craving from other people, find a way to do it yourself. Because when you attach yourself to certain people, it comes with confusion, especially if they're a wolf in sheep clothing. You understand? Some of y'all don't understand that, but that's the truth. When you allow people to be in your space and they're a wolf in sheep clothing, that's when the confusion starts. Because now they done painted the picture so good and they're not who they say they are. But you ain't found out until it was too late. I don't bring people to my house. Everybody don't know where I lay my head. Everybody don't know where I have my most peace. Tell y'all something, it took me a long time to invite people in my space. Let me tell you why. Even my own family. My mama will tell you I don't invite people to my house because I'm real picky and I'm real strategic about certain things like that. Because sometimes you got to understand when you only have one place of peace, you got to protect that at all costs. Everybody can't come to your house. Everybody can't be in your space. If you feel like every time people leave, you got to pray your house and you got to anoint it down all the time, that's too much. That mean you doing too much and you got the wrong people around you. Because if you feel like you inviting people in your home and you got to anoint the walls and the doors every time that's a bit too much. But if you protect your peace and you protect your space of peace, you won't have to do all that. I be trying to tell folks all the time, when I was dealing with my narcissistic person, I would take oil. I would take oil and anoint his house in order for me to be comfortable. But what I didn't realize, I was so immature in my faith then, I didn't realize that I shouldn't have to do that in nobody else's house in order for me to be comfortable. That was my sign to get up and walk away. See, some of us don't take that sign because we be so busy trying to help other people and pour into other people and allow other people to be their full potential on our time and our dime, that sometimes we don't even realize that we're not doing nothing but placing ourselves in this position where we always feel like we have to do something in order for us to fix other people and their problems. Sometimes you got to realize that the only thing you need to fix and worry about is yourself. That's it. Whenever you feel like you got to pray over somebody every time they come around you, or you got to anoint them in their appearance or whatever they got going on, every time they come around you, if you got to do that, that's a sign for you to walk away, because it's not your job to fix nobody, because you're not Bob the Builder or Kim the Builder. Okay? I'm just saying. I don't know where Kim came from, but you got to understand you're not Bob the Builder. Okay? You shouldn't have to pray for everybody every time they come around you. That's a problem. If you feel like they need prayer, you need to send them to church. I'm just saying. Send them to church. I'm just saying. Let them go to the house of the Lord and get that fixing that they need. Because it ain't gonna come from you. Let me tell you something. You can't fix nothing or nobody that don't understand you. And I'm gonna end my live with this point right here, because I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this real clear and real loud. You cannot fix anybody who does not understand the assignment that you have over your life. And what that means is, you can't fix people who don't understand the source of where you came from. So unless they have a true, pure relationship with God, the source that created you, they're not going to understand who you are. They're not even going to understand what your job is in their life. So it's not your job to help them figure it out. Sometimes the best thing for you to do in those type of situations is allowing yourself to be fixed for your purpose, so you can walk fully in your purpose and not worry about people trying to still find a potential. When you learn that part, you'll learn a lot about life. I'm no longer helping people find their potential, because the whole time I was helping them, I was losing mine. I was losing my own potential trying to help folks who didn't deserve my presence. Going into the new year, this is your new motto, and I want you to write it down. This is one of my favorite quotes that I say every time I think about it. Your presence is a present. Your present is a present. Your presence is a present. Just like you wrap a gift up under the tree, that's the same thing that you got to start doing with your present, because it only comes once a year. And sometimes people will fumble you if you allow yourself to always be wrapped, and it's no longer going to be any excitement, because it's an expectation at this point. You're allowing people to have these expectations of you being in their presence, and that's why it's no longer exciting. Sometimes you just got to pop out every now and then, but when you pop out all the time, it ain't going to be no excitement. It ain't going to be, no. It's going to be something that people are used to. But when you work on you and you lock in and you take your isolation serious and you pop out every now and then, Now people gonna understand what it means to mind your business, drink your water, and stay out the way. That's it. Mind your business, drink your water, and stay out the way. Because now when they see you in 2025, your glow is going to be so big, you going to blind a couple people because they ain't seen you in so long. That's the type of stuff that I be talking about. I'm trying to blind a couple people because they ain't going to be able to know who I am because of the work that I have done on myself. The work that I've done on me has caused my glow to radiate even brighter than it was before. How many of y'all ever got mad because somebody was behind you and their lights and their brightness of their light is blinding you, and you gotta you getting so angry? And this happened to me all the time when I'm just driving, minding my business, and somebody come up behind me with their bright lights on and it's radiating off of my rearview mirror, and I get so angry because now you giving me a headache. That's the type of brightness that I'm talking about in 2025. I'm trying to give folks a headache. Prepare to be sick of me in 2025. Prepare to be sick of you in 2025. It's preparation. Your isolation is preparation, not only for you, but for other folk. Because when you finally pop out the way that God intended you to pop out anyway, that's what I'm talking about. Prepare to be sick of me. Because now I done took my isolation serious, and now when I finally come back outside, I'm where I need to be. So you think you were jealous of me now. Just wait until 6 more months until 2025. You really gonna be jealous of me then. Because now I understand what it means to fully work on me. That's it. Now I understand what it means to take my isolation serious. Now I understand what it means to fully radiate the glow that I intended or that was given to me. Now I fully understand what it means to walk in my purpose. That's it. So I say all that to say this. We not rekindling nothing. Whatever the status is at 11:59, December 31st, 2024, that's what the status gonna be in 2025. Unfortunately, we not going back and fixing anything that we didn't break. We're not going back to fix anything that we didn't break. Unfortunately, however it is, when the year ends, that's how it's going to be next year too. Surprise. However it is, when the clock strike 12, that's how it's going to be next year too. I'm not going back fixing nothing. I'm not going back rekindling nothing. I'm not going back to fix anything because the only thing I'm worrying about fixing is me. That's it. I'm only worrying about fixing me because now I understand the assignment of me actually walking in my purpose and me being okay with how things are. If it ain't broke, then baby, I ain't gonna fix it. So I'm not. You got to find somebody else to do it, but it ain't gonna be me. Hello, somebody. I be trying to tell folks all the time. You allow people to bring crumbs to your front doorstep, but you really deserve a whole loaf of bread. And you over here munching on the crumbs because you feel that's all you need. That's all you need to survive. But baby, you really deserve a fresh baked loaf of bread. And you're allowing people to bring crumbs to you because you feel like that's the only thing you're going to get out of people. No, if they not bringing the whole loaf, if they not bringing the whole loaf, we're not accepting no more crumbs. If you're not bringing the whole loaf, baby, don't come over here. Don't think you just gonna come bring me crumbs and I'm gonna be satisfied because I'm gonna have something to say. Because the requirement to be in my life is a whole loaf of bread. You can't come over here with crumbs and expect for me to be full. Because see, when I'm a big deal and I'm a big dog, I don't eat crumbs. I need the whole loaf. I'm not allowing people to give me crumbs anymore in 2025. That's over with. So if they bringing crumbs, turn them around and tell them to go buy. If you can't afford a loaf of bread, then you can't come over here. If you can't afford a loaf of bread, you can't come over here because we're no longer taking crumbs. The form of payment now is a whole loaf. That's it. If you ain't got it, unfortunately for you, I can't help you. I ain't gonna be able to help you. I'm not gonna be able to help you. Cause over here I own a bakery. I don't sell crumbs. I own the whole bakery. So I bake loaves of bread. I don't sell crumbs. I don't sell breadcrumbs. So if you ain't coming over here with a whole loaf for exchange for my loaf, then baby, I'm not gonna be able to help you. Because I'm not taking crumbs as a form of payment. So in 2025, I need for you to understand you own the bakery. Can't nobody bring you crumbs as a form of payment because the only thing you bake is whole loaves of bread. So if they not bringing it, you don't want it. I told somebody the other day, you gotta come with it. They gotta come with it. They gotta come with it. You can't just come over here and sit down next to me, baby. You can't just come over here and think that you're going to be comfortable. Because, see, what I had to understand was when I had people in my life that were comfortable, I became comfortable. So you can't sit next to me and think that everything is going to be okay and I don't push you. So you got some folks in your life right now that are so comfortable that that's what's rubbing off on you, and that's why you feel like you're okay with where you are. And a lot of times you get angry because when you finally turn around and see that you want more, you got to start evaluating the people that's in your circle. No more crumbs. No more crumbs. The assignment for you these last couple hours of 2024. Prepare your mind to be uncomfortable. Because as soon as the clock strikes 12, January 1st, your life is about to change. And I know I'm not the only one that feel it. I don't know what it is about 2025, but I feel like that's going to be our year. The news is going to be a distraction. Let me say this again. The news is going to be a distraction. Old relationships are going to be a distraction. Many hardships that you're about to endure are going to be a distraction. And I need for a lot of y'all to pay attention to what's about to get ready to happen. Because even though it may seem that things are falling apart, they're going to be falling together in your favor in the kingdom. When I realized that my life wasn't falling together, it was actually falling. It wasn't falling apart. It was actually falling together in my favor. That's when I started to become happy again. It's falling back together in your favor in the kingdom. Because now I understand what it means. You know what I'm saying? I understand what it means to be in a space of brokenness. And one last point I'm going to make is this. Sometimes there's beauty in the tornado and hurricane. Sometimes there's beauty in the tornado and the hurricane. Because sometimes it's God's way of giving you a clean slate even quicker than before. Sometimes a fresh start ain't always bad. Sometimes you starting over ain't always bad. Because you might be starting over with the right equipment that you need to succeed and get past this test. So if y'all ain't heard nothing that I said today, hear me when I say that. It's okay to start over, but it's also okay for you to understand that you're already prepared. So in 2025, not only will you be chosen, not only will you be the black sheep of the family, right? You're also going to be the person to experience and experiment what life has to offer, and you got to be okay with that too. So I love y'all. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for all the love that you guys have shown me in 2024. And as I close out, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, because I don't know what other way I can repay you guys. I don't know what other way I can show you guys love. But each and every one of y'all who has done nothing but pour into me, who has given me nothing but genuine love and support, who has done nothing but love me, even though they didn't know me from a can of paint, you still somehow made a way to be in my lives. You still somehow made a way to pray for me, even when you didn't have to. You still somehow made a way to be a part of my journey. And you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you sat in here with me this whole entire year, and you loved on me when I didn't even know I needed love the most, right? So I thank y'all for giving me everything that you have given me, even though I might feel like I don't give you guys enough. So thank you. Thank you for everything. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. Even though I might not understand, I might not understand why. I understand now. I didn't understand it before, but I got it now. So I hope each and every one of y'all are bringing this new year in with a clear mind, a sound mind, clarity. I hope you're coming into who you deserve to be. All right? Because sometimes y'all don't understand how much I break down, how much I actually, when I end my lives, it's just something about my lives, about the people that be in my room. Let me tell y'all something. This is what I talk about, quality of people. Because I don't leave my room empty. I remember when I first started this thing, I was leaving my rooms and my lives empty, but I leave my life full each and every time. Whether y'all talking back to me or y'all praying for me as I'm talking, I leave here on full each and every time. And y'all don't understand what that do for me. Y'all don't understand how much that make me feel good as a person, as a socialite, as an influencer, whatever y'all call me, as a coach, whatever y'all call me. I am in a space of my life where I'm so humbled by the simple fact that I got people that love me that I ain't never met before. Let me tell y'all something. That right there says a lot. That says a lot. So I say all of that to say, I love y'all. Happy New Year to each and every one of you guys that's in this room. Whether it's your first time here, your second time, or whether you've been rocking with me this whole entire year. I do this for y'all. Okay? Some days when I don't feel good, some days when I was going through what I was going through, I still had an assignment that I had to fulfill. You understand? But I'm here. And not only am I here, I ain't never allowed y'all to allow me to miss a beat. So that's what I'm talking about. So, Happy New Year. We are only a couple hours away of 2025, whether you are in Central Time, Eastern Time, wherever you are. Be safe, be careful. And always remember that this is always going to be a safe space. So we always gonna be in a space where we are safe around each other. We can talk to each other. We can love on each other. And I'm always accessible and available to people who are available to me. So if y'all make yourselves available to me, my inbox is always open. Always. Don't ever feel like you're by yourself. All right? Because you're not. When you come over here and you join the family, you join the family. That's what it is. That's what it is. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm about to get off this thing. Y'all make sure y'all are safe. Don't drink and drive. If you can, be in the house before 12 o'clock, please. All right? Be in the house before 12 o'clock. Don't be outside. You don't need to be outside. You need to be at home in your space, getting your space prepared for 2025. Don't go out to no club. Don't go out to no birthday party. Don't go nowhere. Stay at home. All right? Thank you. All right. Love y'all. Now, I love y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.